We are here for Let's Talk Tuesday. I never know if there's ever going to be anyone or not, so I'll give it a minute and we'll see who shows up. And I do like to talk in the beginning of Let's Talk Tuesday about the events that are on the horizon for this month. We have so many. We have so many things going on. It's really great. Tonight is Let's Talk Tuesday. We have the new blog post up on the website, alignwithsarah.com, and you'll very clearly see an area that shows for the blogs. We do a live group healing session with a Facebook group, the Pebble of Hope Facebook group, and that is coming up on the 11th. I better get my calendar out here. Yes, that's coming up on the 11th. So next Wednesday, if you want to join that group to do the group healing, and actually it's a live stream through YouTube. And if you're an active member of YouTube, it is a private video, but you should get an invite to also join that. We have on the 9th, so coming up Monday of next week, the Apocrythia is the full day program that is this new product. I'm always excited about everything, so I feel like I kind of like dilute that when I'm like, I'm excited about this and I'm excited about everything. But with the Apocrythia, it is a program that I've wanted to roll out for quite a while. It's a one-on-one virtual retreat, and we're going to be talking about the details of the program, how to apply to be considered for the program, because it's not for everybody. Just like any healing, there's a time and place where it's really going to fit in and, be a standout experience. So there's a little bit of a process of being considered, because we'll get into it in the webinar, but you can sign up for that on the website as well. It's a free webinar, no obligation. It's about a half hour to just present the information. And then we will, and then talk about the steps for entering the program. What else is coming up? The community class. So the Pieces of Wellness community classes, alternative healing concepts to share about controlling chronic pain, finding relief of chronic pain, including things like anxiety. This month, we are going to be talking about tapping and EFT, which I do that with a lot of clients. I do it for myself. It is so amazing the way that helps with so much. It's an amazing technique. So simple. There's 1.5 gajillion videos on YouTube for reference, and we're going to talk about what comes together for that, why it works, what's happening in the body when it's working, and if anybody is dealing with some chronic pain, we can do a demo at the so this is at the Candor Library. That is an in-person event. That's the 18th at 4:30. And then let's see, lastly, we have the monthly anxiety workshop. I used to call that clinic, but I think it scared people. So now I call it the monthly anxiety workshop, and it doesn't scare people. So that's great. And it's a donation-based group setting where we learn about anxiety. Most people, it's all new concepts because I talk about the energy of the body, the energetic imprint of the anxiety and how it engages in the body. And then we practice, learn about techniques that can be introduced to tell the body, the mind, and the spirit that we are listening to what it's trying to say. So speaking of the mind-body experience, but before I speak of the mind-body experience, I don't know if I said what date that was. That's always the last Friday of every month. That's always the last Friday of every month, and it's the 27th, and it starts at 5 p.m. And that's an in-person event that I offer at the office in Owego. So now, speaking of mind, body, and spirit, the piece of wellness, I use that phrase a lot because I think it's a very perfect thing to think about. This month's piece of wellness, which means like the focus of my personal wellness practice, my journey to healing and growing, I'm focusing on spirit, as in mind, body, and spirit. And anytime I write that word, it's got a capital S, because I feel like it's very sacred. I feel like it should be celebrated. I feel like it should be capitalized. And so I want to talk tonight about finding the balance between the mind, the body, and the spirit. So in the newsletter, in the blog post, I introduced my thoughts about spirit. When I began gathering information, kind of, committing to, okay, this is what the topic is going to be for October. I'm going to be gathering lessons. Usually, I'm going to say almost always, there's stuff that shows up right away. And setting that intention, I think, is so much of the experience. When we're really untethered to something specific in healing or growing or learning. I don't know why I have the hiccups all of a sudden. But when we become tethered into a place, it can really give us a lot of momentum. It can really give us this place where the wheels can kind of sink in. And then the universe, what I believe, the universe out there, it can be, it gets a clearer message about what it is we want. We can very much get on the complaining train. Is that an expression? I don't think so. But where we're, blaming and whining and complaining because we've got our awareness on what it is we don't want. We don't want more bills. We're going to complain about them. We're going to be hemming and hawing all the way to the mailbox or the inbox when something comes in. And what we want, what we think is the goal, is less bills. But what is actually, what that develops out into, or what is it that we want? We want a better financial flow. We want more control of our income and our assets. We want more money in our life. We want ease in that subject. And the more we focus on bills, the more focused we'll be on bills. And we're going to lose track of what's actually going to solve the problem of the bills. Of course, going through them and recognizing, I don't use this streaming service. I don't use this other thing. And this warranty I've been paying for 17 years, I've never had to use it. And, whatever. So going through that stuff, it is valuable, but it's tethered to a goal of, I'm going to streamline this. I'm going to recognize my engagement. What do I need? I need this streaming service. I don't need these other three. The kids are grown up and whatever, things change. There's nothing else on there or whatever, where we can tether into what you need, streamlining those bills. So I got off kind of in a thing here. So spirit, started focusing on spirit. I don't know how I got all the way over there. So right away, these lessons showed up. This beautiful poem. Oh my goodness. That just makes my heart kind of like, I can't tell if it is heavy or just full. But it is about dying, and it's about what's left over and the focus of what should be, what should be the focus. And what it boils down to is saying, I'm not going to be here someday, or maybe this person is not there now. And whatever it is that the people left behind feel, like, I wish I could hug her one more time. I wish that I could tell him this. It is the love part of it, that lasts. People die, love doesn't. So give love away. Keep that person's essence, their spirit, alive by giving love away. And this got me thinking about spirit and these other ways that we describe spirit. And it became this very layered and faceted thing to me, this concept of spirit, of mind, body, and spirit. And it very quickly paralleled to how the exact words are what I feel like describe the experience of Reiki, the concept of Reiki, the healing power of Reiki. And that's the blog post is a lot about that. The other words explaining Reiki and then tying in this concept of spirit, because I feel like it's all really the same. It's just a different word. And when we're coming to a place of healing, especially when we're reaching out to somebody to help with healing, where there's this deep commitment to acknowledging the mind, the body, and the spirit, recognizing that each of those pieces play a role. And when we come to someone that is going to give attention to all of those areas, there's this incredibly valuable experience if we think of well, what gets offered? And it's it's spirit to me that gets offered, even if we're healing each part of that triage of the mind, the body, or or trilogy, the mind, the body, or the spirit. We're offering love. We're offering to share that moment, to share that healing energy, to believe. And we can see our mind, right? We can scan it, or we can look at a cadaver. We can see the body. We can feel the body. We're engaged with the body. We can move the body. We have sensations with the body. So that part's real easy. But then the spirit is, to me, it's like all the life that's in there. Everything in between the mind, the body is the spirit. And it's wonderful if it is love, if it's healing, if it's all those positive things that we can imagine that we want to be going on between the mind, the body, and the spirit. All those positive things. How to find balance. My number one thing here is also the number one thing that I talk about with anxiety. And so with anxiety, there's something that nourishes, and then there's something that is kryptonite. And the nourishing piece of anxiety means it feeds the anxiety, the thing we don't want, is seeking control. We only ever have control of ourselves, and we can go through the motions of learning to control our responses and reactions and understand them more, heal them more, find what hurts and heal that. We can't control anything else. We can't control the weather. We can't control the other person. We can't control everything outside of what is in our body. What is our body? What is our mind? And what is our spirit? Our experience is what we can control, nothing else. And so what feeds that is trying to control the things that we can't control. We waste our energy. We end up running on empty, and we're misplacing that energy on what we can't fix. That's what nourishes anxiety, lack of control. And the part that I imagine, for me especially, I guess I should say that, the kryptonite for anxiety is action. And I feel like this sounds a little bit opposite, but what I'm imagining, what I'm suggesting for finding the balance of mind, body, and spirit is that correct action. And the correct action is surrendering. Letting the body find its way, listening to what it's saying. Your heart is beating. Take your hand and put it on your heart. Take two hands and put it on your heart. And tell your body, Tell your spirit, tell your mind, I am listening to this. What am I trying to control? What feels out of control? What can I control? Bring it back. That's the example of anxiety. And that is definitely a symptom if the mind and the body and the spirit are all out of balance, in my opinion. Surrendering to the moment of, I'm supposed to be doing this. This is supposed to be happening. Surrendering is different than giving up. So if we are, I do not like water, but I'm going to use this as an example. If we're in a body of water and we're going to say that it's 20 inches deep. I don't like water. And we're flailing around because, it's the water's, I don't know, not warm enough. We don't know how deep the water is. We think it's very deep. So we're trying to float, we're struggling, whatever. And that surrender, when we surrender, when we calm down, we float. When we calm down, we float. When we surrender, we float. And we can very much sink when we're panicking. And we can also sink when we give up. And of course, we're in 20 inches, not a big deal. But if we're in a big vat of 6 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet, the ocean, sometimes life feels like the ocean. When we are surrendered, we can float, especially if we're in the ocean, because that's salt water and we float in salt water. If we give up, we can sink. If we're panicking, we can sink. The surrender is also another way of looking at it, is allowing myself to notice what I need to listen to and what I need to shift. That's that magic recipe: notice, listen, shift. You can mix them up however you want, but it's about, if I'm having the discomfort, it's about my journey. What can I notice about me or how I'm reacting to something in my environment? How can I listen to that more? What is that telling me? Is there an emotion here? And what can I shift to make that better? So, what else was I going to say here? I wanted to talk about, so we talked about spirit. It got launched into like all this other stuff because that's just the way my brain works. And it has come into, I've used this as an example a little bit ago about how trying to explain spirit really feels like I'm trying to explain Reiki. And so I got this little card. We gave these away at the talk last month at the library. And it is the principles of Reiki. And when I read this with this, these new notes about finding balance of that mind, the body, and the spirit, and how I feel like that answer is surrendering and that noticing and listening and shifting, but surrendering first, no panicking, and no giving up, just allowing the lesson to also bubble up to the surface right next to us. When I read these principles of Reiki, it now, didn't before, but now I see that it is all about surrender. And I think it's so beautiful. So the principles of Reiki are taking a quantity of time. These principles quantify one day. This could be 1 minute, 5 minutes, this hour, this morning, this evening, right now. But this example says today. feel free to substitute any quantity of time with the word today. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will be grateful. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. Just for today, I will be kind to every living thing. Just for 1 minute, I'm going to take a break from the worry. Just for this morning, I will not be angry. Just for this hour, I will focus and I will be grateful. And just for this day, just for this week, I will do my work honestly. Just for this moment, I will be kind to every living thing. Changing the time frame, whatever works best for you, but it's all about this renewal and this surrender and this starting point. And it's now. And we're going to commit to at least a little bit of time, at least this moment, and this surrendering my grip on anger, surrendering my grip on worry, embracing the experience of gratitude, being grateful, honesty. So important. When we are not honest, here we go. Where are we at? My 4 agreements. Look at my book. It's so full of notes. I love it. The 4 agreements: integrity of the word. Integrity of the word leads to integrity of the body. The lack of integrity with the word leads to lack of integrity in the body. Never gets old to demonstrate this with muscle testing. I love the face. I love the experience that people go through. I love the experience I get to go through in showing integrity of the word and integrity of the body. It's amazing. If you, I should try to record some of my workshops because it never gets old. Having somebody hold out their arm and say a truth, and they have strength in their arm, and then say something that is not the truth. Usually we use the name. Have them say, I would say my name is Sarah. Somebody would push on my arm. My arm would have strength. I say my name is Bob, and my arm, I have no strength. So when we're living a life where we're blaming everyone else for our problems, that's actually not integrity of the word. It's not everyone else's problem. It's my problem. It's not everyone else's fault. It's my fault. Why am I in this environment? Why am I setting myself up for the lack of success? Why am I counting on these people that I haven't been able to count on for a year or 2 years or 10 years or 12 years or whatever it is, my whole life? That is lack of integrity with the word, and the body shows the weakness. When we're living a life of lies, of dishonesty, a lot of dishonesty with financial situations, dishonesty with relationships, dishonesty with contracts with like work, dishonesty with just, chipping away at the neighbors, chipping away at friends. It leads to, that's not integrity with the word, inner word, with our thoughts, outer word, what we're saying. If we're lying to people, it creates that low integrity of the function of the body. I don't know how I got here either. So I don't know how I got here, but that integrity of the word is huge. And living honestly. Yes, that's the principle of Reiki. And how incredible it can be to have that experience where we shift, we acknowledge, oh yeah, this could be my fault. Maybe it is my fault. And it just is the point of accountability is also an incredible experience. And being kind, that's that last principle, to just talk about that for a moment. Being conscious, like moving forward consciously. If we're living through love, because worry and anger are forms of fear. I have a whole list of emotions I clear from people every day that are all based on fear. Every emotion boils down to love or fear. And when we're moving through life with emotions, high emotions or constant or chronic emotions that are negative, we are moving through life in fear. The energy that we have when we're moving in fear is finite. The energy we have when we're moving through life with love is self-renewing. It's not infinite, but it is self-renewing, self-nourishing. When we are providing an act of love, it is nourishing our heart, which is part of our body, our mind, and our spirit, which then they can give back more love to us. Contributing to self-love, self-care is an incredible experience. Being kind to every living thing includes being kind to ourselves. And when we nourish ourselves just a tiny bit, oops, I'm getting really excited, then we have more to give to the rest of our day, the rest of our hour, the rest of our morning, and the rest of our evening. I just restarted my 100 days yesterday, and I want to talk about this. This is a freebie. I forgot to talk about that in the beginning. But being kind, finding some self-care. I have this project that I put together that I super love, and it is September 23rd, marked 100 days left in 2023. And I thought it would be a great project to have worksheets, because I love worksheets, and make sure I'm counting. I'm doing something every day, 100 days, counting with love. I'm doing something every day for my mind, for my body, and for my spirit. So I don't know. Let's see. How can we maybe show this off? So there's 3 columns here. And it's a worksheet. It's a free downloadable on the website. It comes with 3 pages. This one page is called the planning page. And it's where you brainstorm things that I could do for at least 1 minute. That's all of the commitment. 1 minute for my mind, 1 minute or more for my body, 1 minute more for my spirit. So when we do these things, there's a 10-day planning sheet. You can see the 10 hearts here, but there's 3 hearts in every box. So this is day 1. Then we have day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then there's also 100 blocks here. I'm up here on this top one because I just redid my commitment. But this planning page helps me. I have yoga in the mind column, I have yoga in the body column, and I have yoga in the spirit column. I have walk my dog in 2 out of 3 of them. Stay in bed in the morning is in a different 2 out of 3. Drink a glass of water, clean off my desk. There's a whole bunch of ideas for things that I could do to nourish these 3 parts of me that need attention every day. And I can keep track of ideas on my planning page. We can, of course, add to that anytime. And then when something is done, I went for a walk with Max. I wrote that on by one of the hearts on my 10-day thing. And I wrote body in the middle of that heart. And then in the afternoon, I laid down for 10 minutes. And that was a nourishment for my mind. Spirit, I really enjoyed my morning meeting, which is kind of work and it's kind of nerdy, but it really nourished my spirit to feel like I had the support of my helper and all the projects that we have been doing, including this 100 days. It just feels so great. And I felt like my spirit was like, I had like the bicycle pump and I was like pumping it up. And so that was my experience with that. And then, so this is my new commitment. And I love this idea that someone had. I'm going to write down, I'm going to have 10 of these for every day, which is what my 10-day or 10 unit thing is going to be about. And then when I have 10 of these completed, then I color in a day on my 100-day chart. So I want 100, my own personal goal, my own personal interpretation of how I can use this to really push me into a place where I want to be, is to use my 100-day counting sheet to track 100 days of doing 10 things for my mind, 10 things for my body, 10 things for my spirit. And it only has to be 1 minute at a time. And it can be the same thing over and over again. But I just need to do 10, take 10 moments of my day, 3 minutes at a time, and think consciously about, this is nourishing my spirit. This is nourishing my mind. This is nourishing my body. And it's a pretty great experience. So that's my new reset. So I got to fill in the rest of my my stuff here for my 10 things for today. So then I can fill in my number 2 day on my 100-day chart. So yes, there's less than 100 days left in the year, but there's still going to be 100 days, I hope, that I am here. And if I miss one, then it'll take me 101 days to get my whole chart filled out, but it'll get filled out. And it is just what it is. So I talked about a lot of things that are available out there. I'm going to put links in the description at some point, and to make all those things easier to find. So I did see some people here and not here, and then here's somebody else again. So thank you for being here. I guess I can say anything you want to share. You can write in the chat. I don't think it'll show up forever. But if you want to say hi, or if you want to not, that's fine also. But I am, I'm going to fill in my heart for nourishing my mind and my heart and my spirit in this one moment, because I love that you're here, Elizabeth. And at first I was like, who the heck is Elizabeth? But I love that you're here. Thank you. You had such a busy day. I hope that you feel like you made it, because I'm so proud of you for all that you have done today. Just so amazing. And I know you're not feeling that great, so it's even more amazing. And I hope that you're on your way for getting a shower and getting in bed and letting everyone else take care of everyone else for the rest of the day. All right. I will talk to you again very soon, because, as soon as I'm done with anything, I have to grab my phone and say hi to Beth. But thank you for being here. And I will talk to you, everyone, again really soon. Thank you. Oh, Beth, yay. Oops.